Hey guys, it's Gus, and I'm bringing you a Neverwinter video. This one is about Mod 21, and it's a build for HRs, and this build is purely single target, and it's extremely endgame. It's very expensive. It would be very hard for a new player to get to this point. Even if they paid a lot of real world money, it would still be very hard to make this build because there's some stuff you really have to grind for, or stuff you can't even get anymore. But this is what we got so far. So this new mod changes a bunch, and before this month, and it's the end of August. Before August, on PS4 anyways, and consoles probably July, we haven't had an improvement to our build really since last August. I mean, we've had slight item level increases, but no really big changes to our builds. So, making adjustments to Mod 21 is there are some changes, and you're gonna see. And this has not been tested yet. I'm looking forward to running some dungeons, and a lot of us that run endgame dungeons are still working on our builds before we jump in there. So let me show you what I have so far. So this is version 1, and if you have any recommendations for improvement, please, very open to criticism or room suggestions for improvement, because that's what we're all trying to do. And there's some stuff in here that you might go, what? That doesn't make any sense. But let me show you what I got. So the build I'm using right now is 61939 item level. I can go up a few more hundred, but I'm not going to. I can also go down a few more hundred, which I will if the group leader will let me, if I'm not hosting. This build assumes that you are not running the 3 journals. The 3 journals, the loss of 450 item level is a loss of about 0.7 damage, but the damage from the 3 journals on every crit strike will be, I'm very much assuming, will be worth more than 0.7 more damage. So single target, I'm running the Sky Blazer. I'm recommending running the Sky Blazer, and I'm very lucky. There's a bug right now on PS4 where we can't put overloads on our gears, but I put them on because I used the awesome Rainer's character builder that I recommend everybody does if they want to save diamonds. It's a big boost. So I recommend running the Blessed Helm of the Sky Blazer. I know there's a lot of really good players that I know that run Goristros, but I just don't think that uptime of getting 10% would exceed the 7% combat advantage. Who knows? Maybe it does. And this is assuming Voss, or Zerial's challenge, and Tom. There's probably in a really good group, you probably won't have a chance to get all 10 procs up most of the time. Of course, we're running the Bone Devil's Ribcage, the most powerful item in the game, more powerful than any weapon enchantment, more powerful than any companion. If you want to be a DPS in endgame and do respectable damage, you have to get this. There is no alternative at all. You can make an alternative build, but it will do nothing in non-scaled endgame content compared to the Ribcage. Also, in the last build I made in Mod 21, I was running the Spike Defender's Van Bracers. I'm now running the Wrist Guards of Precipitation. If I'm running the 3 journals, I can run the Spike Defenders with some other tweaks. For Zerial, I recommend as HR using the Lionheart Longbow. Yes, the Zerial weapons give you slightly more item level, but I don't believe their uptime is as good as the Lionheart weapons, so I recommend the Lionheart. I only have I have Silveries in all my offensive slots. Silveries, that's it, except for 1 tactical. And I'll show you why when we get to that. So I skipped Yes, Azures are amazing with that speed bonus, but in Trials we don't need the speed yet. So running the Darks will still give us our forte on HRs. The forte is power, which we don't need in this build that I'm making, but it gives more accuracy, which improves our damage output. Now, speed will let you get back to Zerial faster if you have knives and go to the outside, so it's completely open to debate. I am a speed demon, so I probably would say the 25% speed would probably be better for more damage than the 0.5% accuracy you get. So you can use Darks or Azores. Also, because of the hit points, and this is non-buffed, non-out of group, we're running about 730 hit points. 730k. We don't need a bark shield in scaled content unless it's a training group. So go ahead and run the fire burst. Every time you get hit, you will do damage. We have no power anywhere in this build except for the ring and the shirt. There's no companions, no insignias, no radiance that give us power. So that's how we're getting our power. So these gloves are giving us a lot. I think 7,500, and we get those 10 stacks so fast. I'll show you. I already said that the Lionheart and Bilethorn, of course, that hasn't changed for single target. I know there's rumors going around about the flaming. I've tested it. Maybe it is the flaming, but I don't see it, guys. Until I see anything otherwise, I'm going to recommend the Bile. And then there's the one tactile I was talking about, and the Azures in all defensive slots. And for the offhand modification, it's not power, sorry, it's accuracy. And yeah. And boots. Okay, I know a lot of builds are going to recommend running the new boots, the Wasteland boots. There are these ones right here. If you go to neverwinterhub.com, there's a really awesome calculator, and even though the Resident Iron Language are 300 item level less, and you get 5% uptime with these, the Rusted Iron Leggings vastly, like by over 1% more damage. They're really good. So I recommend the Rusted Iron Leggings until I see otherwise. They're so good. They've been good ever since they came out. The artifacts, we're gonna be running the music box, of course, because we're running the music box set. I'm assuming I'm gonna run the lantern. You can swap this out with any other debuff. And then I have the refulgent for the combat advantage, and because it has a high combat advantage, and I don't need the other stats that the other ones give. And then the ring of foul weather for the combat advantage, and the defense awareness, because you don't need crit or crit severity on this build. So I'm running with the firm rebuttal. Any of the 1525 pants will do for the item level. Now the velvet pants do give, I think, about 2,000 more offensive stats. Well, I'll tell you. The velvet plus 1 are now 1150 item level, and they give 1725 stats. This build does not need them, but you will want to use the velvet pants if you're running. Okay, if you're running with the 3 journals, you'll want to run the velvet pants, and you'll want to run the spike defenders. But you lose 800 item level basically from the pants and the gloves, which is about 1.7% damage. And I really don't know if the spike defenders are worth it in that case, because there's a lot of moving around. You have to change almost the whole build. You can't beat this. The power shirt, even there's no 1525 shirt that you get from the 3rd mini boss and boss that comes close to this. This shirt is so darn good. The problem is it's so hard to get to drop on the tier 3 the the tier 3 lure, the Night Spine in Avernus, that most people don't have it, but it's so damn good. And this is one of my, so I have one tactical and I have one Tenebris. You want to have a Tenebris. Arguably, you want to have two Tenebrises, a 15 and a 14. I'm not doing that for this build until I know for absolute certain that it will do more damage. We're running the music box set, of course, Dark Azure, Dark Silverine offensive, Azure and defensive. You want to run the Band of Air. There is zero doubt about this. You could run the 3%, ranged, or the 3% melee, but those two rings for HRs, they don't. Those two rings don't affect our roots. They only affect half of our encounters. They don't affect so much of our damage. I think you're better off with the 7.5% stats that you get from the Red Eyes Glare. Now there is another contender. There is you get this in the Glory Pack. It's 6,000 Zen with the 50% off coupon. It's 2,500 Zen. It's the, not that one. It's this one, the Glory of Neverwinter Assault Ring. So it's 275 less item level, but it's 3% damage to everything as long as your stamina is over 75%. Kind of like the Ebony, well, exactly like the Ebony shirt. This ring actually might have a way to be best in slot. It's super expensive. Unless you're patient in the Zen market, not on PC, because theirs is just ridiculous. But on PS4, it's, 2.5 months, so you can get 100,000 Zen a year. But for now, I'm going with the Red Eye. Mounts. Okay, here's a controversial part. Most people run stats here. This build doesn't need a single stat, so I'm running Ferocity. And I did a video last week showing a Zero with Ferocity equipped. It has a really high uptime. I didn't get the stopwatch out, but I'm guessing 80 to 90% uptime. Because even if you're in a 10-man trial, if anybody in the group gets hit, it can trigger the Ferocity. And the Ferocity can trigger the Ring of Air. So when you have at least one stack on, every hit you do has 2 chances of proccing the Ring of Air, which is over a 500 magnitude hit, which is basically an encounter that you can get every single second. It's that good. Not to mention the additional damage that this Ferocity can provide us. This has not been proven. I have had a player that I trust on PC confirm that their testing shows the same thing as my testing. And then, of course, single target, tunnel vision. Unless your groups, you might run a debuff, but most DPS are running tunnel vision. Insignias. So all aggression and skill. That's all the Insignias I have here. There's no power. And I'm running 2 Warlords, 2 Assassins, so your defense goes low, and an Artificer's Persuasion, so every time you do an artifact, your cooldown goes down by 2 seconds. I could replace this with another, I could replace Artificer's Persuasion with another Assassin's Covenant. The thing with Assassin's Covenant is you lose some defense and awareness and deflect and crit reduction, whatever that one's called, but you gain 4,000 offensive stats, 1,000 combat advantage, 1,000 accuracy, 1,000 crit, and 1,000 crit strike. And when you have 2, they're halved, so instead of 4,000 you'll get 2,000 offensive stats. So these 2 Assassin's Covenants give us 6,000 stats. If I do another one, we'll get 1,000 offensive stats, but this build really doesn't need it. So you could, Artificer's Persuasion is our best choice, I believe. For the colors, if you don't have Mythic, which is totally fine, most people probably don't, the Sturdy Crescent, if you're running with the hybrid where you're using both ranged and melee encounters, if you're going pure ranged encounters, then you would want to go with the At-Will collar I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Crit severity, you need that now, especially now since they nerfed the potions. Um, I like the movement speed, and then these two can be whatever. I have outgoing healing and rough astral diamonds. The thing is, the 1000 item level will increase your damage more in an unscaled content than the loss of stats would. So you want to not have empty spots here. Okay, so again, Cold Iron Ware, like one of the most expensive companions, is still best in slot. There's plenty of others that are close, but if you're trying to do the max damage for a max build, that's it. This build is using Staldorf's Present and Minsk, M-I-N-S-C, the bigger they are. They both do a flat damage percentage. These two do. We also do Black Dragon's Ion Stone, which is super expensive. Steldorf, which used to be super cheap. And then the Alchemist Experiments in the Utility. Now, there's some controversy here. You notice this gives you 7.5%, and this gives you 7.5% for a total of 15% stats. Well, if you replace the Black Dragon with Dritz and the Steldorf with Wolfgar, I believe it's pronounced, probably off like usual, you're going to get 4% accuracy and 4.7% combat advantage, so 9.4% offensive stats, and again 9.4 offensive stats, 4.7 crit chance and 4.7 crit severity. So a total of 18.8. So you're getting a 9.4, 18.8. So you're getting a 3.8% stat increase by running these two companions. The problem is that you'll go over on crit severity. So you're really getting about a 3% offensive stat gain by running those two. Actually, probably closer to 2.5. And I don't like it. I'd rather have the extra crit chance, because the crit goes down to about 80%. I don't like it. I don't like it down that low. So it might be better if somebody knows for sure. Let me know. But I'm sticking with the Black Dragon, and I'm sticking with the Staldorf until I see otherwise, either in action or numbers or something. The equipment for this build, we're using Acute Senses for 7.5% combat advantage, a chance to hit for 15 seconds, and this has a super high uptime. The companion gear, I'm using, this build uses all 1300, so we got the Glistening Gear more for 1300 or 1900 combat advantage. You get this from the ring, from the diamonds. The Silver Talisman you get from the first first episode 1 bounty. And then the Glistening Sword Knot, which is accuracy, you also get that from the Shattered Diamonds. And then you're using 6 Indomitables. The boons, you're going to go all power. You're going to go all your offensive stats. You're going to go all hit points. Now, there is a thing about this hit points. If you lower the hit points, you improve the odds of you proccing the rib cage. But in a trial, you have combat advantage almost the whole time, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus, there's really nowhere to put these unless you want to put them in defense and awareness, which you can. That'd be 1% more awareness, 1% more defense. No, we already have 5 points of defense, 1% more crit reduction. There's just not a lot of place to put them. And then you want to put them in Marathon Runner. And I had 3 extra points, so I put them in damage against undead. Actually, I should probably put that in the one for demonic. Not cultist. Well, that's besides the point. We just have 3 extra we can put anywhere. In the tier 5, I put 4 and Forte. And then on my previous build, I put them in the recharge speed. But what I'm finding is, and from a great help of the best HR I know on PS4, I can't name him because he didn't give me, I didn't ask him if I could. The AP gain is more important than the recharge speed because our rotation is almost exactly 10 seconds, which is perfect for prey. So we don't really want to reduce our cooldown so much. So AP game, and then really the only choice in tier 5 is Bloodlust, which is still pretty garbage. Guild Stronghold, I have it in Crit Strike. Defense, I did have it in hit points, but the problem is the more hit points you have, the harder you have to hit to activate your rib cage. So go defense. You can go awareness if you want to. And then here you can go anything you want. Most people go revive sickness because if you die, you can you don't lose as much power or hit points. I recommend going movement speed to avoid deaths, and if you do die, just switch back to revive sickness in the middle of the fight. Powers, nothing's changed. Now we do have room on this build to if you're in a 10-man trial, you can be greedy all you want, but Aspect of the Pack gives all 10 members 5% combat advantage. It's so damn good. You're gonna improve. You can use crushing roots to increase your root length, but your team's gonna do better with the Aspect of the Pack. So if you're competing against somebody and it's a total burn group and you're just trying to one up each other, then go crushing roots. But the group will burn much faster with the Aspect of the Pack. So usually all you're going to use is your aim shot. That's the only outwell you use. I'm recommending you use careful attack after you use your gushing wound at the end of your rotation. It's careful attack can proc the ring of air or the band of air, and it says it's 0.8 seconds to cast. I don't believe it. It's really fast. I didn't go over this. I'm now a GIF. I always ran as a metallic dragonborn, but for this build right here, we're capped power. So that 3% power really won't do anything, and we can't lose it anywhere because the only place we have power is this shirt, but we're not taking this off for the ebony shirt and losing 500 item level, right? You could replace it with another ring, the 3% ranged or 3% melee rings, but those rings are not that good for HRs as they are as a pure melee class or pure range class, because we use both stances so much, and we have so many ticks that aren't affected by those rings. The hit points are great, but we don't need them in the current state of the game. We might in the future. And then I put all the points in strength and dexterity for the crit severity because we lost a bunch. So right now, why is my combat advantage so high? Did I trigger the ring? Nope, I don't think I did. So what we're gonna do, oh, I did this last time, that's right. Okay. Oh, I lost item level somewhere. Just a sec. Where did I lose item level? Did I? Oh yeah, that's right. Where are you? So we're going with the 1500 pants. Where are you guys? There you go. So now our combat advantage is over by 24. It's really, if you're trying to get that 24 off, there's nothing in the game you can really do that. In the overloads, if you can, you really want to run Devil's Precision and the Rage of Flames. You can't overstate how good they are. They're amazing. They will change your build. Consumables. You're going to want to use your Invocation Blessing for accuracy. If you have them and can afford them, you want to use your Watermelon Sorbet. And I have enough to probably last me 2 more years, maybe 3. These give, the old ones give 10% power and the 10% accuracy. That 10% power makes it so we don't have to use Dominance or Radiance. We're not using the Wildstorm Elixir anymore. We're using the Stonewar's Gift for the 2000 accuracy and 5% combat advantage. The Flask of Potency +1 will give 5% crit severity, and it will also give 1650 stats. And then if you have them, Scroll of Fate Recovery. They're expensive now. They were dirt cheap. They were like hundreds of diamonds, not thousands of diamonds. Instead of giving you 560 accuracy, they give 1500 accuracy now. And the reason why I'm going Gith over the Wood Elf gives 5% crit severity, or crit strike, which we can use. But it has, you can put 2 points in dexterity, and then you can put 2 points in intelligence or wisdom, which are both wasted ability points. So I think that makes the Gith edge out over the Wood Elf. So we're gonna go ahead. Here's what the stats look like now. After Consumables. Now you want to use the Invocation Blessing until you get the accuracy, which is that little book right there with the little drop on there, which we got the first try. Now power says I'm at 77.5. We'll actually get up to, in combat, we'll get a lot higher than that, and it will have us at like almost 80% or 88%. And 88% does, you're like, it's not capped. Well, if you're in a 10-man trial, somebody's running Runic Aura that's going to give you 2250 power. It's just, somebody has to use it. It's the best mount and quit bonus in the game. So it's 45,000 stats for the group. Somebody has to use it. It's too good. So this build is built around doing that, and thanks to Brian for pointing that one out. And Dominic at the beginning of Voss gave me the he's an Xbox. He's the Facebook moderator for the Hunter page. He mentioned that to me at the beginning of Voss, and I was like mind blown. And now it's finally coming to realization. So in combat, I'm just going to show you what they, do I have the, I don't, so you're also going to get, so it's at 77.5 power when you activate the Fortress box. You go to 80.5, so it's 3%. That's really good. And then in combat, let's get combat advantage so we can get the stuff proc really quick. And there's the careful attack. Now I don't know if I have the sun. Okay, I do. Dang it! I hate when it does that. I have to restart it. Now it lasts 6 seconds. Oops. I'm watching the tooltips up top. So I don't think I have 15 stacks of the gloves. I know I don't. Oh, okay, I see it now. It's 20. So 88%. You saw in the power. Accuracy, why is that so low? It's 80%. Combat advantage 86. Crit strike is 82, and crit severity is 86. And you see accuracy is now slightly over by like almost 100. Combat advantage is over by slightly, and crit strike is significantly over by 500. But that's because of the Flask of Potency, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Power will be up much more than it's looking like that. And I know no stats are capped, right? Power is going to be capped and everything, and be like, what the hell? Well, we have so much damage gains from the boots and the ferocity, and the bigger they are from Minsk, and the Baturi's wisdom from Baturi, that I believe that those not capping your stats is if you cap your stats and don't use those, you will actually be losing damage. So this build's to help an experienced group burn it faster and get through, and help an inexperienced group get through it, because they need all the help they can get. Let's see what the yeah, I'm liking this build a lot. I'm missing, I think, 22% total stats and the accuracy, combat advantage, crit strike, and crit severity, and I'm okay with that because we're getting 19% damage, or 11 plus 8.6 is 19.6, plus the rest of the iron boots is we're getting 24.6% flat damage gain from the boots, Baturi, Minsk, not including the ferocity, which potentially is 4.8% additional damage, in addition to the additional band of air procs. Okay, there's my mod 21 HR single target hunter build. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.